with something.
All right.
There's a few entries that reveal some thoughts. Clearly, these are made to try to convince himself that the Duke is alive and that he will come seek him out. They appear to have a little more information than the fact that Polydorus was actually waiting for the Duke to arrive so that he could be teleported away, and that he had given him this offer multiple times in the past. Mm-hmm. If something would happen, then he would come here. And he is sure that the Duke would take him up on the offer if he was able.
All right.
Beyond that, there seems to be a weird sort of piece of dried skin, sort of a rather sort of animal hide, where some words have been sort of etched into it as if by a claw. It appears to be a letter.
All right. What's in the letter?
Yes, what is in the letter?
Claw letter.
Dear wizard who is reading this, stop following me.
To whom it may concern.
Do you wish to read it aloud, yes, or else?
I can. Is it written in common?
Yes, although clearly it is not the easiest to write with the
There's Mumbles looking at it. To Polydorus, seer of Davrin, unwinged but wise. Behold, I, the Stormborn King, need your counsel. I have taken Shargamon's whelp, the black dragon Yarethon Knightsbane. He foolishly tried to lay claim to my dominion, and by talon and thunderbolt did we humble this night hunter. My heart speaks to slay this monster, and see his evil forever removed from both earth and sky. Still, I worry this would bring the wrath of his sire, so I send to you. What say the stars? Will the death of Yarethon invite disaster, or will it bring only justice and relief? I await your word. I remain the Lord of all Eagles and the Stormborn King. Zacharias' eyebrows has, slowly risen during all of this, and sort of looking over to Chiron.
As he picks up this piece and reads it, he also sees that under it there has been something etched out on a larger piece of parchment. Clearly the wizard himself has tried to make some sort of family tree.
Okay.
Really, on the top it says Shargamon the Black, and out from it are a multitude, more than 30 other lines with all these names. Many of them, however, have just been scratched out.
Sure. Zacharias, look at the names. This is interesting.
All right. It seems that there are names. Indeed, Jarethon is one of them. Nithhager is another one. And indeed, Telemundus is another one.
Zacharias,
there are a few more.
Sort of skims through his fingers, suddenly stops at a name, and sort of looks over to Chiron, and then like a smile creeps across his face.
Chiron just raises an eyebrow and frowns.
Oh, so this is where you come from, Telemundus.
Chiron shrugs.
Shargamon the Black. What does Zacharias know about Shargamon the Black?
Well, he would know, of course, what everyone knows, that Shargamon the Black is basically a legend. No one really sees it, but it is said that in ancient times, the Viper of Vipers, the Black Shargamon, rose up and ate entire cities on the land, much of what weakened the original population, and later basically he's had two scourges where he's ravaged the land and basically plundered and eaten until he didn't care for it anymore, and then left with everything he had gotten. It's much known that he probably is dead by now, most likely by age, judging by the age he is. He's known to have spawned countless beings, with many different mates, and generally, well, a legend. I mean, it is.
But he seems more to be at this point be more of like a folk tale than an actual
Yes,
force.
yes. You don't really like. It is a folktale level. Almost like a Thor or something. People say that when the sky glows in the evening, it is because of the flames coming from his mouth and such.
Sure.
So, what does the family tree say? Who is the father of Telemundus?
Well, it is Shergawan, of course.
Yes,
So it's Telemundus' brother that's been captured?
Technically.
it would appear so. Brother or half brother.
Yarathon Nightsbane.
By knowing this, Cash will look amused at Kyron. Of all of this group, I wouldn't have imagined that you would have family problems.
Oh, I have had family problems before, you can believe that.
So what are we gonna do with your brother, half-brother?
Well, he's not my half-brother. I suppose he kind of is, but honestly, I don't really care too much about him. If he got himself captured or kidnapped or whatever, he probably deserved it. I mean, he must have made some mistakes of sorts, and if you make mistakes, you get in trouble. We all know that.
Cash gives you a look of distaste and says, "That's the spirit."
Still, perhaps if you want to talk more about this, it shouldn't be to me.
I don't want to talk to Telemundus. Keep that reptile away from me.
Reptile.
Beyond this,
You could practically hear Telemundus being insulted, like, what?
under this, there's also some other papers, which seems to be a part of a paper on the ciphers of the scholar Badamus, and attempts to decipher the codex
Oh,
of Badamus.
we have the codex, right? Yes, we do.
We have the codex, but just no one can read it.
Hmm. Well, I will certainly take these notes. The skull of Badamus. Yes, all of these magical things will definitely dive directly into Zacharias' bag.
Sure.
Anything else?
Beyond these things, the modest amount of wealth, it seems that the tower has been pretty evenly evacuated from its prior inhabitants.
Okay. Well, seems to me then that if the Duke is not dead, and that the mage has given him offers to evacuate, it seems like the tower is the place he will try to get to. So maybe I'll just lay down like an alarm spell at the entrance, and when that is triggered, we'll all basically just teleport here and surprise whatever has come through the door. If it's the Baron, we'll capture him. If it's something else, we'll just kill it. We just keep basically a constant vigil on the tower.
By something else, you mean bugbear?
Yeah.
Malachi, did you say that there was a claw with the letter?
No, it had been made by someone with a claw, like scraped.
The Eagle King.
Oh, okay.
It was most likely a dragon.
The Lord of all eagles.
You think it's a dragon? Maybe it's just a giant eagle.
Maybe. It's a
Who knows?
huge giant eagle. We've killed the phoenix. How hard can an eagle be?
Malachi
We've
smiles.
got dragons too, right?
We've killed dragons too, yeah. Alright, well, if we've tossed the place and haven't found anything else, I suggest we do that then.
Well, first of all, Chiron would certainly request to get these claw-written documents so he can have them.
Sure. Zacharias has certainly committed them to memory. He will hand them over to Chiron.
Casual looked at Kyron with a raised eyebrow. I thought you didn't care.
I didn't care about him, not too much at least. Still, I want these.
Cash shrugs.
Yep, consider them yours.
Anyone would like a family tree, I guess.
Now, actually, what we could do, Zacharias will summon our devil friends that we have a little pact with.
Hold them.
Yep.
After a little while, it does take a little bit, 20 minutes. They sort of appear,
Well, Zacharias turns to them and says,
scurrying across the ceiling as usual.
Zacharias tells them, I have an important mission for you two. You are to remain in this tower until further notice. You are to report immediately if anyone enters the tower, especially if that someone happens to be a human looking like the Baron of the city. He smiles. If this happens, you are to find us immediately and tell us so.
Should we kill him?
Do we want him alive?
Restrain him.
Yeah, restrain him. If you believe you can easily restrain him, do so. But your first priority should be to one of you should teleport to us and inform us what has happened. Priority number 2 is to seize him.
You sort of skitter about a little bit. They seem like almost like large, nervous insects all the time. The way they move.
Yep.
As they just sort of clearly say nothing in acceptance of their task. As they sort of crawl across the ceiling out of the room towards the lower levels.
Good. Now, that's taken care of. We have 2 quite vicious devils guarding the door. That should be enough.
And we have a sad vampire by the front door.
Just knocking on windows. Let me in, please.
The hamster face. Oh, he can enter now.
He can enter.
Well,
I can, yeah.
Caster.
Shall we move on then?
And before he finds us, greater teleport.
Poof. Yeah, I guess we head out to town again. Knowing that we have the place guarded, I guess, or at least under surveillance.
Sure.
Time to look at these completely ordinary looking buildings.
Yeah, although I did like that green table.
Would you like to put the table in your bag of holding?
Stuff it into your bag of holding.
Might.
You know, you can put in your Doom Fortress later.
I need this for a thing I'm doing.
I need this.
Exactly.
Ah! I'm being crushed! Being crushed by shadows.
No.
And apparently Cash dived out of the window over the city wall.
I am an old man.
I am an old man.
Oh, yes, quite.
Oh, how my bones crack when I move.
Can the 2 of you just be silent? Flame strike.
No, we're having too much fun over here.
You anti-fun person.
Yes.
Do you
Says
hate fun?
the vampire.
Yes, I have.
That's why that's funny to me.
I have plenty of fun. You know some of it. Heal.
The vampire is all the
Oh
fun.
my goodness.
Actually, how much health do you... 93. You know, actually...
You would survive a heal.
I would survive a heal, but I don't know if I could one-shot him.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And if you don't get, you get another heal.
Exactly. That's the issue.
Well, you can resist the heal, and your will save is godly, I believe.
Oh, that's true.
I think it's a fortitude save, actually.
Oh, that's even better then.
Oh, if it's a fortitude save, I'm totally immune.
Yeah, it's like doink.
No, you are not.
Oh, wait.
immune to this.
Well, can
You would still
can it
take half
affect-
damage.
Can it
And
affect
it's a will
objects?
save, not a fortitude save.
Focus.
Okay, then it's a will save. Then
Oh.
yes.
Yeah,
then I'm
we
not
should
immune.
focus.
But either way.
You'll leave and basically go home to the prison, I assume,
Sure, that sounds
as
weird,
it is getting rather late.
Well, it's home sweet home.
but I love my prison. My prison is my
Well,
castle.
Return. There are people there still, well, fighting each other and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping their, what newly released convicts do when they're in confined space, very hungry and desperate.
I will bring in food and stuff.
We have a lot
Slaughter
of
bugbears.
burgers. Oh, we have a lot of burgers.
We will
Buck-
not
buck-
distribute
buck-
those
yeah,
burgers.
burgers.
That some of these people have begun eating another inmate.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
Oh,
we'll bring food.
they should be commended for their efficiency.
Where has Raiju arrived yet?
No.
God damn it.
It's only been a couple of days.
He's fast, right?
well, that should be enough.
Yeah, what is this? Alright, fine. Zacharias will teleport and get food. And teleport back with food.
Sure. What type of food?
Whatever is in the stores that he can easily grab from the
Right.
fire axe. Like,
There's amounts of meat
yeah,
of
meat.
unknown origin.
Yeah,
Well, that won't last long.
mystery meat and like a barrel of beer or something.
You might need to bring Kyron along to carry like 50 barrels.
Yeah,
instead.
Kyron, come along. We need to...
Which also means Kyron, the more food you grab, the more food you get to eat.
Marcus...
They jump it as hungry wolves.
Yeah, as much as Marcus and Kyron can conceivably carry, which is a lot.
Yeah, up to their maximum weight limit they can carry.
Yep,
They can teleport.
and then we'll teleport. Basically, yeah, they just show up and there's 2 tons of food spilling out.
And when Zacharias gets back, there's a note on his desk.
I certainly hope not. He locked the door.
A note on his door,
that's
perhaps?
Fine, there's a note sitting on the door handle.
Alright, so I guess
You know
we'll look
what?
at the note.
Does,
You know,
does it say
Azureus-
second portrait ready? Come get it.
Soris, if you wanna go into his room, Cash can easily open it.
I mean, I have a lockpick as well. I could do it, but yeah, I was considering enough not to break into his bedroom.
What's on the note?
The note simply says, "Feel like a chat. Meet me on the roof."
Alright. Yeah. Zacharias will take a look inside his room, see that everything is on okay. Probably, when no one sees him, slightly move the portrait out of a corner. And put it, like, leaning against the wall somewhere. At least visible in the room. So when Telemanus come back, he will see it and be in a happy mood, preferably. Then Zacharias will lock the door and go up on the roof.
And when you go up there, you'll see there's a few circles of burn marks where Azureus has been randomly scorching it slightly.
Oh, Zacharias looks at Azureus, crosses his arms, leans against the battlements, and look at him. What?
I feel like having a bit of a friendly chat, Zacharias. Drink. You see Azureus actually hold up a bottle of wine to you.
Oh, Zacharias, it's a flick of the wrist and the bottle floats over to him. Very well. He pours himself a glass and moves it back towards Azureus. A friendly chat, you say? Intriguing. Takes a sip.
I've been thinking about just how things have changed. Going back a few years, and we had just met, and we had all went our own ways. Let our pride get us all caught.
Zacharias considers, looking out to Azureus. Yes, perhaps at that. I cannot speak to all the others, but I, for one, was careless. I admit that.
Well, we must have all been careless in our own ways. If we weren't, I'm sure they wouldn't have been able to catch us. But things have clearly changed as time's gone on. You have to admit it. We started weak and over ambitious. But look how things have changed. We took down forts. We've summoned daemon princes. We've destroyed a section of the church.
And somehow still live to wreak more havoc. Zacharias smiles, takes another sip. It's pretty glorious, isn't it?
It is. He holds up a glass almost like to a toast.
Yep, Zacharias toasts as well.
It's been a while, and we really haven't had chance to just just consider everything that's happened. A lot has changed. We've gone from worrying about being executed the next morning to wondering what section of Talengard you want to take over next.
Oh, we shouldn't be so overconfident. The king and his supposedly invincible army are still marching on us after the Vale, I am guessing.
That is certainly that's probably the case. But while we still have time, no matter what the outcome is, we might as well be able to enjoy some of our spoils of war.
Indeed. I am preoccupied by work most of the time these days.
It makes no difference. A friendly chat like this, a nice bottle of wine. Yeah, it makes for a change, don't you think?
I agree. It's certainly nice to relax and enjoy the spoils a bit. Zacharias looks out over the town at the slowly burning cook fires and blazing infernos.
I have to say, as bad as getting caught after years of running, I'm almost glad. I'm almost glad I did for this kind of opportunity. Our arrangements together and what we've been able to do as a result has been quite spectacular.
Zacharias looks over to him. Yes, well, things have changed, as you say. I must confess, at the beginning I didn't care much for you, Azureus. You seem to embody much of the things I... Oh, hello. You seem to embody much of the things I despite in the faithful. But I must confess I have started... You have grown on me.
It's true. My powers collide with what you tend to like, but nonetheless, we both see use in each other's abilities, and most importantly, in the end, what one of us chooses to do doesn't actually stop the other.
Yes, indeed not.
Azure pours himself more drink, places the bottle in a place you can easily mage hand it again.
Mm-hmm. Zacharias looks over the bay. Yes. Time has passed. We're still under the supervision of Theodora, though, and Thorn at that. We need to, well, consider what that means for the future, I think. If Thorn continues to act as he has done in the past, yes.
So it's kind of hand waves you. Whatever the outcome for that is, we can handle it if something more appropriate comes up, better time. As it stands now, we do as we need. Work is done, but we can still at least enjoy what time we have till then. Also, I'm curious. You were searching. You also with things. We've definitely seen changes in everyone in different ways. Marcus, of course, has been quite dramatic change.
Yes, some of his drawbacks are a bit problematic.
And then another problematic thing I've noticed you run into is Chiron's new... I'm not sure what to describe it as.
That lizard that slithers out from under his skin.
Then Cash with her tumor.
Minor nuisance. I am intrigued, though, by this Telemanus fellow. If he's actually a spawn of Sharmagon the Black, that might be interesting for the future. I might need to revise my approach to Telemundus in light of this.
If you don't, at least I think I might get a better business in portrait making.
Yes, that. Sort of looking over to Azureus. That thing is currently gracing my quarters.
Business is business, you understand. I did as I was requested. What his purpose for it was, well, I didn't ask.
Oh, I'm sure you didn't. Zacharias makes a grimace.
Nonetheless, something I'm curious about, because everyone's going through such changes. Everyone's been moving towards something new, something better. And most of us have ideas of different people's goals, but some people still remain just enigmas. What does Chiron really want out of all this?
I don't know. Chiron seems to be a quite simple sort. Power, wealth, recognition that he is the biggest and the baddest dragon in town. That seems to be enough for him.
And what do you say about Marcus? What is he actually doing? Is he just fighting because since the church is opposed?
I don't know what Marcus sees. His choice to become a vampire is intriguing. Perhaps he sees himself setting up some sort of knight barony in the north or something. I don't know. A court of night, as it were, where he can sit eternal lording over a horrific and dreadful court of blood-sucking monstrosities like himself. Black knights riding to and fro, keeping the land in an iron fist.
If Thor ever gives us time for that. And then, of course, we have Cash, who has to fight to simply survive in this world.
Well, that goes for all of us.
That is certainly true, but out of all of us, she's had the biggest disadvantage with trying to lay low.
Perhaps so.
And if she uses magic to lay low, she ends up being scryed upon instead. So. But certainly goals that haven't been realized. Whatever your final goal turns out to be, being just destroy the Mithran faith, something more. We shall see.
Zacharias querying brings a smile to Azureus. Are you prying into my affairs, Azureus?
I am certainly curious to know more, but I know for a fact that I can't pry too deep.
Wisely so. Something big is going on. Azureus, I am very close to well, my goal, so to speak. It is not done yet. Far from it, but I am working ceaselessly towards that goal, and when it hits, it will shake the foundations of Talengard. At least I hope so.
Intriguing.
Yes.
A grand project.
Reality will weep and the skies will render. Zacharias sort of drifts away, sort of wistfully thinking on this.
Azureus will kind of do a quiet chuckle and allow you to keep reminiscing, thinking for a moment.
And then he sort of pulls himself out, and when I am done, I will be positioned to really bring the hammer to the Mithran Church. There is still a lot of opponents we haven't faced, and a lot of power they still have. This Arch-Inquisitor, for instance, he is very dangerous.
Everything we fought has been very dangerous, Zacharias.
It is, but him in particular has a rather gruesome reputation. Facing him now would put us all in considerable danger, even with the power we have. But if I succeed, yes, standing against him will be a pleasure of mine.
We all have our pleasures we want. The question is how devoted have you been to this task? You're always locked in your room, studying away, which has clearly got you new abilities, spells. But how much have you been focusing upon such a task? There is clearly looking very curious.
I am focused enough. I have spent the last few weeks working on my grand projects. I need a few more. Which is why I usually don't take too kindly to disturbances.
Well, the odd disturbance every now and again is sometimes quite a pleasurable thing to have.
Perhaps. Sort of looks out over the city again. Clears the head a bit.
I still remember some things which we hazed at the time, but was quite amusing back. Seal Isle, for example.
Ugh. Like Rising Grunts. Yes, that place.
Now it wouldn't be, we wouldn't even flinch. But back then, it really shows how much things have changed.
Back then they seemed scary, didn't they, those creatures in the water?
Admittedly back then, a someone even slightly trained with a sword looks slightly scary to us.
Perhaps. That captain certainly was dangerous. But
And
we
then
sent him to a watery grave, so all is well that ends well, is it not?
But it almost feels that the world just keeps pushing against us. I mean, whenever, no matter how strong we get, new things always seem to arrive.
Well, we are trying to destroy the country, more or less. It's only natural that it pushes it back. We are, in some regard, an affront to the very nature of this place. So clearly, there will be opposition. That is something I have always expected.
Of course, there'd be opposition. It's just interesting to think about everything that's happened and where things might go from here.
For now, we're hunting a baron. We don't know what task Theodora will order us to do. But I suspect it won't be anything pleasant. I am also intrigued about this little sidetrack with Telemundus and his supposed kidnapped half-brother or whatever it was.
I mean, such an idea. It said the black, correct?
Yes.
And from what I know of dragons, a black dragon would be, well, natively quite evil. Correct?
Yes, quite.
It'd be intriguing. Do you feel it's possible we might be? Do you think it might be possible if he is still alive?
Well, a dragon as old as Sharmagon might have a few tricks up his sleeve. Just because he's not out pillaging anymore doesn't mean he doesn't live. He would be very old indeed, but dragons take quite a time to die of old age. I wouldn't be surprised if he's lurking somewhere on a titanic amount of gold he has collected during his pillaging years. Zacharias shrugs. We'll see, I'm pretty sure.
Titanic amounts of gold. Reminds me of the, what is it? Literal ton of gold we found within the damn horn.
Yes, well, I wouldn't suggest going after the Sharmargon's horde at this point. We probably need to plan for such if we actually want to do it. Plus, Telemundus might be hard to convince, or maybe not. I don't know.
We deal with it as it comes. The same as there's lots of stuff we must deal with. I mean, we released Damon Prince. One day, someone will have to deal with him. One day.
That day will surely arrive sooner or later.
I'm hoping someone else can deal with that press, though.
We'll see. We'll see indeed. Zacharias takes the last sip of wine, sort of looking over the battlements. I suppose I should return to my work.
Very well, but it was nice being able to speak and just think about what has happened.
Indeed. Thank you for the wine, Azureus. I'll see you again in a couple of hours.
Oh, that was fast.
Azureus kind of gestures you a nice hand wave as you leave.
Zacharias goes down again to his room.
All right. Anything else this night?
Well, if any of you were looking for Cash, she's not home.
He's having a joyride with horrors out on the countryside, burning and pillaging.
Marcus is hanging out
I've
in his
missed you so
coffin, I
much.
guess.
Let us ride and never
He's
stop.
hanging out in his coffin.
Hanging out.
Hike.
I mean, he's,
Oh.
come fetch him if you want him.